The struggle is real. We've all been there. No matter who you are or where you come from, everyone has faced those moments when motivation just seems to disappear. Maybe it's the early morning when your alarm blares and you just can't bring yourself to get up. Or maybe it's that feeling of disappointment when you realize you've let yourself down again. It's a universal experience and it can feel isolating, but trust me, you're not alone. Have you ever planned to wake up early, determined to start your day with energy and purpose, but, hit snooze instead? Maybe you even set multiple alarms thinking that would help, but somehow your bed just feels too comfortable to leave. The intention is there, but the follow-through? Not so much. Or maybe you've promised yourself to eat healthier, to skip the sweets and stick to your goals. But then, out of nowhere, you find yourself reaching for that cookie, telling yourself it's just one, even though you know it's not part of the plan. The guilt sets in, and you wonder why it's so hard to stick to your own promises. We've all been there, caught in that tug-of-war between what we want now and what we want most. It's called procrastination, and honestly, it happens to the best of us. You sit down to tackle your to-do list, but suddenly everything else seems more interesting. Your phone, the view outside, even reorganizing your desk. Before you know it, hours have passed and your tasks are still waiting. It's frustrating, and it can make you question your own discipline. We tell ourselves we'll start tomorrow, that the next day will be different. We make plans, set intentions, and mark our calendars with fresh starts. But somehow, tomorrow never seems to come. The cycle repeats, and we're left wondering how to break free. These little struggles are about more than just willpower. They're about habits, routines, and the way our minds are wired. It's not just a matter of being strong enough or wanting it more. There's a science behind why we do what we do, and understanding that is the first step toward real change. They're about understanding how our brains work. Our brains are designed to seek comfort and avoid discomfort, which is why change can feel so hard. But the good news is, neuroscience shows us that our brains are adaptable. With the right strategies, we can actually rewire our habits and responses. The good news is, we can actually train our brains to be more disciplined. Just like an athlete trains their body, we can train our minds to resist temptation, stay focused, and follow through on our goals. It's not about being perfect, it's about making progress, one small step at a time. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, it might feel awkward or even impossible, but with consistent effort, you'll notice real changes. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you can develop. The more we practice, the stronger we get. Every time you choose to stick to your plan, even in small ways, you're reinforcing new pathways in your brain. Over time, those choices become habits, and those habits become your new normal. So if you're tired of breaking promises to yourself, know that change is possible. You have the power to train your brain for success, and it all starts with understanding yourself a little better. Let's dive in and discover the tools and techniques that can help you build the discipline you need to achieve your goals, one day at a time. Discipline might sound, kind of boring or difficult, but it's really the key to achieving your goals. It's about making choices that help you grow, even when they're not the easiest choices. Think of it like exercise. You don't start by running a marathon. You start small, with short walks, and gradually build up your stamina. Discipline works the same way. It's about training your brain to make good choices consistently. Every single time you choose to stick to a plan, you're strengthening your discipline muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Just like any workout, it takes effort and consistency. But trust me, the rewards are totally worth it. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. This worked great for our ancestors who needed to conserve energy and avoid danger. But in today's world, this instinct often leads us to choose instant gratification over long-term rewards. Think about scrolling through social media instead of finishing a work project, or grabbing fast food instead of cooking a healthy meal. These choices are easy and immediately rewarding. Our brains just love them. But they don't always align with our goals. This is where discipline comes in. It's about training your brain to delay gratification and choose what's best for you in the long run. Okay, ready to start building your discipline muscle? Think of discipline like any other skill. It's not something you're born with, but something you can develop and strengthen over time. Just like you wouldn't expect to lift heavy weights on your first day at the gym, you shouldn't expect to have ironclad discipline overnight. It's a process, and every step you take counts. Here are a few simple steps you can try. First, start small. The biggest mistake people make is trying to overhaul their entire life in one go. That's a recipe for burnout and frustration. Instead, pick one area you want to improve and focus on that. Maybe it's waking up 10 minutes earlier, drinking an extra glass of water, or writing a short journal entry each night. Seriously, don't try to change everything at once. When you set too many goals, it's easy to get overwhelmed and give up. Remember, discipline is about consistency, not perfection. It's better to do one small thing every day than to try to do everything and end up doing nothing. Begin with a small, achievable goal. When you accomplish it, you'll feel a sense of progress, and that feeling will motivate you to keep going. It's like giving yourself a little win every day, and those wins add up over time. Like instead of aiming to hit the gym every single day, just start with 2 days a week. That way, you're setting yourself up for success, not disappointment. Once those 2 days become a habit, you can always add more. The key is to make your goals realistic and manageable. And if even 2 days feels like too much, start with 1. The important thing is to build momentum, no matter how small the steps may seem. Next, use reminders. Visual cues can be super powerful motivators. Our brains are wired to respond to visual signals, so use that to your advantage. Place reminders where you'll see them often, like on your bathroom mirror, your fridge, or your computer screen. Put up sticky notes with your goals or write yourself encouraging messages. These little nudges can make a big difference, especially on days when your motivation is low. Or just set reminders on your phone. Technology can be your ally here. Set alarms, calendar notifications, or even use habit tracking apps to keep yourself accountable. The more you see your goals, the more likely you are to stick with them. Another tip is habit stacking. This means linking a new habit to something you already do every day. It's a simple way to make new behaviors feel automatic, because you're piggybacking on routines that are already part of your life. Basically, connect new habits to ones you already have. For example, if you always make coffee in the morning, use that time to also review your goals or stretch for a minute. The more you tie new habits to existing ones, the easier it is to remember and repeat them. For example, if you want to drink more water, keep a glass on your desk next to your computer. That way, every time you sit down to work, you'll be reminded to take a sip. You're way more likely to drink it if it's right there within reach. Making the healthy choice the easy choice is a game changer when it comes to building discipline. And finally, celebrate your wins. No matter how small, every bit of progress deserves recognition. When you acknowledge your achievements, you reinforce the behavior and make it more likely you'll keep going. Seriously, acknowledge and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Write down your successes, share them with a friend, or just give yourself a mental high five. These moments of celebration build confidence and make the journey more enjoyable. This kind of positive reinforcement really keeps you motivated. Remember, discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself day after day and making small choices that add up to big changes. So start small, stay consistent, and don't forget to celebrate every step forward. You've got this. Now let's take a quick look at the science behind discipline. Our brain has a part called the prefrontal cortex, and it's responsible for things like planning, decision-making, and self-control. It's kind of like the CEO of your brain. Then there's the limbic system, which controls your emotions and impulses. That part is like the impulsive teenager in your brain, always pushing for immediate gratification. Discipline is really about strengthening your prefrontal cortex and learning how to manage your limbic system. The cool thing is, our brains are actually incredibly adaptable. This is called neuroplasticity. Every time we practice discipline, we're literally rewiring our brains and making it easier to make good choices over time. Now that we've explored the key strategies for building better habits, let's take a closer look at how you can actually put these steps into practice in your daily life. It's one thing to know the theory, but it's another to see how these ideas work with real goals that many of us share. Whether you're trying to wake up earlier, eat healthier, or finally tackle that project you've been putting off, these methods can make a real difference. Let's walk through some common scenarios and see how you can use these habit-building techniques to create lasting change. For example, if your goal is to wake up earlier, it's important to start with small, manageable changes. Instead of suddenly setting your alarm an hour earlier, try moving it back by just 15 minutes. This gentle shift makes it much easier for your body and mind to adjust, and you're less likely to hit the snooze button out of frustration. Over time, you can gradually set your alarm earlier and earlier until you reach your desired wake-up time. This approach helps you avoid burnout and makes the new habit feel much more achievable. To reinforce this new habit, use reminders that make it harder to slip back into old routines. For instance, place your alarm clock across the room from your bed. This simple trick forces you to physically get up to turn it off, making it less likely that you'll fall back asleep. You can also leave a motivational note next to your alarm, reminding yourself why you want to wake up earlier. Maybe it's to have more time for yourself, to exercise, or to enjoy a peaceful morning before the day gets busy. Habit stacking can make waking up early something you actually look forward to. Pair your new wake-up time with a positive activity, like brewing your favorite coffee or reading a chapter of a book you love. By linking your early rising to something enjoyable, you create a reward that makes the habit stick. Over time, your brain will start to associate waking up early with these pleasant experiences, making it much easier to get out of bed. If healthier eating is your goal, the same principles apply. Start small by making just one change at a time, like swapping out your usual afternoon chips for a piece of fruit or a handful of nuts. This way, you're not overwhelming yourself with a complete diet overhaul, which can be discouraging and hard to maintain. Small, consistent changes are much more likely to become permanent habits, and you'll start to notice positive results without feeling deprived. Reminders are especially helpful when it comes to food choices. Keep healthy snacks visible and within easy reach, like a bowl of fruit on the counter or pre-cut veggies in the fridge. At the same time, make unhealthy options less accessible by storing them out of sight or in hard-to-reach places. This simple change in your environment can have a big impact on your daily decisions, making it easier to choose the healthier option without even thinking about it. Habit stacking can also support your healthy eating goals. For example, you might prepare a nutritious lunch the night before while you're cleaning up after dinner. By linking meal prep to an existing routine, you make it a natural part of your evening, and you'll be less tempted to grab fast food or skip meals the next day. Over time, these small steps add up to big changes in your overall health and well-being. Now, let's talk about overcoming procrastination, a challenge that almost everyone faces at some point. The key is to break down big, overwhelming tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. Instead of telling yourself you need to finish an entire project in one sitting, start by identifying the very first action you can take, like outlining your ideas or gathering materials. Completing these small steps gives you a sense of progress and makes the overall task feel less intimidating. Reminders can keep you on track and help you stay organized. Use a planner, a digital calendar, or sticky notes to set deadlines for each step of your project. Seeing your progress visually can be incredibly motivating, and checking off completed tasks gives you a sense of accomplishment. You can even set up phone alerts or use productivity apps to nudge you when it's time to move on to the next step. Finally, habit stacking can make it easier to stay focused and reward yourself for your efforts. For example, after you finish a task, allow yourself a short break to enjoy a cup of coffee, take a walk, or listen to your favorite song. These small rewards reinforce your progress and make it more likely that you'll keep moving forward. By combining these strategies, starting small, using reminders, and stacking habits, you can turn your goals into daily actions and build routines that truly last. Remember, discipline isn't some kind of talent you're just born with. It's a skill you can actually develop through practice and consistency. Don't get discouraged if you slip up. Honestly, it's just part of the process. It's kind of like learning to ride a bike. You might fall a few times, but eventually, you'll find your balance. So, start small, be kind to yourself, and celebrate your progress along the way. With each small step, you're training your brain and building the discipline you need to reach your goals. Seriously, you've got this.